Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. In this video I will discuss how the media shape your or their opinion, and that is by using euphemisms or ignoring evidence in order to make a point. And in this case are two examples related to one another, which is, first, remember that guy Luigi who shot the CEO for that health, blah, blah, blah. Remember that guy? Well, there's not supposed to be glorified whatsoever. But we have here from the same media, which is the free media in the United States of America, we are supposed to glorify the Israelis planting bombs in people's phones and walkie-talkies. Okay, so we're supposed to not glorify criminals here, but glorify the smart Israeli army in doing that, or Mossad doing that and killing innocent people as well during the process of Hezbollah. That's one of the hypocritical way, and I think criminal way, the US media shapes opinion. And the other one has to do with words they use, which are just the wrong words. And I will tell you, it's like, for instance, you have a rapist and in the media, let's say, agrees with that kind of thing, will say he's a lovemaker. That's the word they would use for a rapist if the rapist is of a certain kind of, you know what I mean. So here we have the so-called undocumented immigrants. Now, when they say undocumented immigrants, do they mean people who lost their identification cards, like their IDs, like their driver's license? That's what they call the people trespassing in other countries, undocumented, instead of saying, wait a minute, let's see what the law says, right? So they call them undocumented. It's like I will lose my ID and someone, police says, hey, what are you doing here? And I say, well, I don't have my ID. Oh, you're undocumented. Am I the same one as a guy who crosses the Rio Grande? You would call that person undocumented, as you would call me for losing my ID? All right, let's start with the first one. And it has to do with that criminal who pleads not guilty in killing the CEO. Independent, Luigi Mangione, all right, or Mangione, I don't know how you would call it, pronounce it in English. I would say it in Italian. Mangione Luigi. Sweater sells out at Nordstrom one day after court appearance. So the guy showed up in court with a certain kind of sweater, and it seemed like some people, Luigi Mangione, the man suspected of, I like that because that's what we have so far, of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, became an unlikely fashion influencer after his appearance in a Manhattan court. The 26-year-old was attending his arraignment hearing on Monday, where he faces 11 counts in New York, including first-degree murder in furtherance of terrorism, second-degree murder in furtherance of terrorism, and multiple weapons offense. So he killed one person, but they call it terrorism. I'm not saying that's good, man. I'm just saying, all right, and multiple weapons offense. However, all eyes appear to be on his burgundy sweater. Right there. So, this sweater was previously available for $89.50 according to Nordstrom website, but it's currently on sale for $62.65 with 30% off. The sweater comes in 6 other colors aside from the burgundy one, which is no longer available. So what's going on? Here is the burgundy guy. Now, would the people leave, eyelashes or eyebrows like that, or the hairdo, or what? Nevertheless, so this guy, I don't know if you're familiar with the issue. He killed a person and bam. All right, now that's not right. I don't know what's going on over there. We're going to find out. The thing is this. I read a lot of titles, a lot of headlines in the news saying that people try to glorify this Luigi. And you should not. He's a criminal and all. I'm not criminal. He's a suspected criminal as of now. And you should not worship this guy, and he's not a Robin Hood and so on. I think they're afraid that they lost control, I think, of what's going on. So they will do some damage control session with us. So that's the first one. Now, this could sound like a, look at these guys, how imbeciles they are. They look for the, they want to have the sweater. Let me show you how the media presents First, Luigi Mangione pleads not guilty to murder of CEO. So how could you? And again, he's a sweater. The American man charged with killing the head of United Health appeared in court on Monday. All right, so it is, in its most basic terms, this was a killing that was intended to evoke terror. Manhattan district. Why? Is because the CEO was, is that what it is? I mean, remember, how many horrible crimes occur on this world, in this country, in Manhattan, and they focus on this for days and days. What do you think is so? Do you think this was the most gruesome one? One person, boom, another one? Do you think that's how it was? How many people are decapitated? How many children are sexually abused out there? And these guys are nothing? Nothing? And for days, I tell you why. Because the wrong person did the wrong thing to their wrong person. You know what I mean? So that's why they send a message to you. That's why it's terrorism. One person is the interpretation they give it to the act. That these guys did this, so other people in their position should be frightened by these guys. Well, I'm not going to say anymore, I'm on YouTube. So he pleads not guilty. We'll see what evidence he's going to bring. Probably he's going to say it's because this. Actually, I'm the victim of that terrorism. He's not a victim of terrorism. I don't know. We're going to find out. But I'm going to put this back to back with this glorification by Associated Press of this kind of action. Former Israeli spies describes attack using exploding electronic devices against Hezbollah. Now, to add to this lying by omission. So first, the attack using explosive electronic devices against Hezbollah killed innocent people in the meantime and children, some in certain instances. So how would you say that? Will you call that collateral damage? That means if I want to destroy a country, and I have the military, I just close my eyes and nuke the country and hell with it? Is that how it works? Well, if you read the Bible and the good book Don't Lie, in the Old Testament, they did this with city-states. Remember? Burn them to the fucking ground. And they took the virgins for themselves. I wonder why the virgins. They were working harder? In what way? I wrote 2 books on that. Go and find them on Amazon, my friends. So here it is. They are, oh my God, they use explosives to kill Hezbollah. Yeah, but in the meantime, you didn't give a fuck if those devices were around civilians, did you? No, they didn't. So this article that I already looked over, you can go and find it. It's not a big deal. They are looking at as a marvelous achievement of Israel's defense methods of destroying Hezbollah. All right, and this is a glorification in all this. 2 recently retired senior Israeli intelligence agents shared new details about a deadly clandestine operation years in the making that targets Hezbollah militants in Lebanon and Syria using exploding pagers and walkie-talkies 3 months ago. You got it. And then they give us this thing right here, always. And we go here. The agents spoke with CBS 60 Minutes in a segment, 60 Minutes, owned by whom? They wore masks and spoke with altered voices to hide their identities. Why? Because probably they were involved in such a defensive operations. All right, so this is, and we created a pretend war. All this article, my friends, is talking about how great these guys did with the activity, with the, operation. They glorified those actions. I don't think those are to be glorified. You killed innocent people. And you know how they said justified? Unintentional. So unintentionally you destroy a country, you just nuke it like the Americans did with Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I will tell you this, I have the recording. I will play it one day. I have the recording. But it's an MP3 recording. A long time ago I got it. And it's the BBC communique regarding Americans' first drop of the atomic bomb on Hiroshima on the 6th of August 1945. And this is how those people report on what the Americans told them. And they said, today the American dropped a first atomic bomb over military installations in the Japanese city of Hiroshima. Military installations, or something like this, that's what the words I mean, military, okay? And it was a lie. It was right on top of the Hiroshima dome. If you're gonna look over in Japan, the bomb dropped right over the dome. That's why the dome was still standing, because right underneath it creates, a little bit of vacuum, and it doesn't destroy it as it stood over there. So the guys did not drop it on the military target. They dropped on the city to kill as many as they could. That is a war crime. Nevertheless, Harry Truman is I think he's a war criminal. So again, there might have been some military targets over there in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but the fact is they killed more civilians, much more civilians, or mostly civilians versus the military targets. So there you have it. Is that the way war is waged? If it's waged that way, don't cry about the Russians then, or anybody else on this planet. So again, these guys are glorifying this fantastic Mossad operation. It's up to you. You may agree with it. Now, let's move to the next topic. And this is again another article, just to make another from Republic World. Former Israeli spies reveal how pages were used as explosives against, again, Hezbollah. All right. And then here you have NBC News. Undocumented Chinese men say they're baffled by Trump's reported plans to deport them first. Well, someone has to be first. So don't worry. First, undocumented. What do you mean undocumented? Like, lost your ID? Having fled China because of political persecution or for better economic opportunities, many undocumented Chinese men reject the message they're a threat to the US. You see, they say, oh, of course you don't want to send them back if they're facing political persecution. Right? You don't want to, but you think they came only for that? It's the same argument as with the abortion argument. When you talk about, first, I have no dog in this fight with the abortion, just so you know, from the get-go. But when they say, well, are you against abortion? Yeah, well, some people, not me. Are you? Well, yeah. Well, what about in the case of incest and rape, huh? I have to remind you, that is less than 1% of all the abortions in the United States. Less than 1%. As bad as they are. And you always say, yeah, no, I'm okay with that kind of abortion in case of incest and rape. I'm okay with that. But it's less than 1%. Let's talk about the 90. Let's talk about the deadline. You go over there, have a little one-night stand, no responsibility, no accountability, and that's it. Go to the next one. Now, I don't like that kind of thing, personally. But again, my body, my choice. If that's the case, I should go and take a shit if I want on the White House lawn. My body, my choice, if my body has urges. No, I can walk naked as much as I want wherever I want. Okay, if body, my choice. I feel like. No. We have limitations. So don't give me the fucking body, my choice. If I want to, let's say, flagellate myself somewhere, is my body, my choice? I can't. Why is that? How about committing something? You know what I mean, committing something? No, you can't. Why? My body, my choice. What the fuck are you talking about? So that argument is baboonish. Now, these guys are just looking first undocumented. They're not undocumented. They probably entered the country in an illegal way. That is trespassing. All right? And they don't have papers, American papers. And they should not have unless they are refugees, they are persecuted in their country. If they come for economic reasons, and mostly are economic reasons, that it doesn't qualify, because you're going to have about 6 billion people wanting to move into the United States of America. And that's not sustainable, is it? Or we're going to have everybody kumbaya with everybody? I don't think so. So again, undocumented. They lost their ID. I'm an undocumented person if police stops me with no documentation. I am. But I don't feel the same term as he, or the same term of undocumented. It's not the same way. It's not the same thing. This is the media for you. Glorifying not glorifying the other one because he's a terrorist, obviously, but the other guys are not terrorists. The other guys are just defending themselves because of the land promised by imaginary whatever. All right? But nobody else can claim the same thing. Did you notice that nobody can claim God gave us that land, that you claim your God gave you that land? What if my God promised me that land, that your God promised you that land, you say? What are we going to do? We're going to bring the gods to discuss? Okay, so what are you guys doing? Or the God forgot who he promised to? It's baboonish, my friends, baboonish. But hey, in the name of something like that, how can you argue? How can you argue? The same with these guys. Undocumented. If I go on the White House, jump over the fence, and I have an ID on me right there, and they find me, what do you think they're going to call me? They're going to be undocumented? let's say, or let's say I don't have the documentation on me and I jump over the White House fence. Do you think they will call me undocumented Emil? Or they will call me illegal trespassing right there, motherfucker, smack face down, and as I should be. This is the media. They lie. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.